Okay, joining us now live from Tel Aviv, Israel, former State Department spokesperson under former President Trump, Morgan Ortagus. Morgan, it's so great to have you on. Morgan, you met with Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu yesterday. There's a lot of outrage over Israel's strikes in Rafah. What is the Prime Minister saying now?
Thanks so much for having me, Liz. So I actually interviewed the Prime Minister today for my radio show. We'll be out on Sirius XM on Sunday. But essentially, I would say that the Prime Minister and the entire Israeli war cabinet that we met with are concerned about something that I didn't realize. The Biden administration is saying that they are not holding back weapons and aid because of Rafah. But Liz, I got to tell you, what I am hearing here in Tel Aviv is from the Prime Minister, from Bibi Netanyahu, that indeed the military aid that has been promised by the Biden administration, that has been allotted into law by Congress, is being held up, is being slow walked right now. And so that is clearly very concerning for the Israelis. They want to finish off Hamas. They're trying to do everything they can to protect innocent life, despite the headlines, and what you are seeing. It is Hamas that is, of course, hiding behind innocent civilians. The Israelis are trying to evacuate them. They're providing enough food. This whole notion, Liz, that the Israelis aren't letting a food aid into Gaza is just unbelievable. They've got about 3,000 calories of nutrition per day, per person that they're letting in. It's been Egypt that has been holding up the aid getting in. And really what Israel's asking for from the United States and others is to pressure Egypt to be the one to open these border crossings.
So you're giving us news here that the news is that Israel's Prime Minister Netanyahu is saying that, yes, military aid to Israel is being held up. Wasn't it Hamas that turned Rafah and Gaza into a war zone, putting in terror military commanders, hiding ammunition in civilian populations, firing missiles from Rafah, dragging hostages to Rafah? Isn't it the issue about liberating Gaza from Hamas terrorists? It seems like the narrative on that has been lost, Morgan.
I agree with you, Liz. And yes, Liz, we are breaking news on your show. I have not talked to anyone in the media since my meetings with Bibi, and it came as a surprise to me that they claim that the Biden administration is slow walking the aid, and they really want to push back against these starvation charges and these charges that they're holding up the aid. It's just simply not true. And what Bibi Netanyahu likes to call this, what Hamas is doing, is sort of a double crime against humanity. Not only it's a double war crime, as he likes to say. Not only did Hamas go after and kill innocent, not only Israelis, by the way, but Americans, mind you. They killed innocent Israelis and Americans on October 7th. But in the double war crime, they also hide behind civilians. So everything that they do, the point of what they do is to harm civilians, and they don't care if it's Israelis or Palestinians. But the reason why this starvation charge, why this food aid charge is so important, Liz, is because this is the basis of what the ICC, the International Criminal Court, is trying to allege against Israel with no basis in fact. They are saying that Israel is intentionally withholding food or aid or intentionally targeting civilians. That is what Hamas is doing, and there is no evidence that Israel is doing that.
Okay, so news is the Biden administration is still withholding and slow walking military aid to Israel, that basically humanitarian aid is getting stolen by Hamas terrorists, and Egypt is holding up the humanitarian aid, and Israel is fighting to get the humanitarian aid in. Did we hit all the headlines? Final word.
We did hit all the headlines. I would just add that Bibi Netanyahu, in his interview with me, did say that he was disappointed in the Biden administration for saying that they would not support the bipartisan sanctions that are likely going to go through the Congress against the International Criminal Court. This looked to be a bipartisan move. The Biden administration signaled yesterday that they would not support that. And I can tell you there is palpable anger and distrust and dismay from the Netanyahu administration that the Biden team is taking that stance against the ICC.
Got it. Morgan Ortagus, thank you so much. We appreciate you.
Thanks, Liz.